A simple yawn. You'd never guess it, but the yawn holds a secret to turning women on within seconds. You already know that yawns are contagious, but what you don't yet know is that when someone sees you yawn, you're activating a part of the brain called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons make feelings, emotions, and actions contagious. They're the reason you're happy to see a good friend, or excited when your favorite band takes a stage. And recently, a doctor in Singapore discovered a dark secret: the trick to using mirror neurons to make love, desire, and arousal contagious to women. When you use this secret, women get so turned on that they can't help but make the first move on you without you risking rejection, even if they've never had feelings for you before. And in this short presentation, you'll hear the shocking but true secret to using mirror neurons to get the woman you want to make a move on you the very next time you see her.
Hi, I'm Mike, and until recently, I wasn't getting laid the way I wanted to. Then I discovered a weird but very easy trick that gets any woman I talk to uncontrollably horny for me. So horny that women now make the first move on me. It really works for me. And I found it works for any guy, no matter how old, fat, ugly, or anything else you are. Not only that, but when I use this trick that I'm going to share with you, my fear of talking to beautiful women suddenly vanished. And I finally got the girl who had been telling me, let's just be friends, for the last 2 years. What's even more amazing is I can get laid without having to approach any women, without putting in any work, and without risking rejection, because she will come after me. The most amazing thing of all is that this works just about every time. Every time. And listen, since you were lucky enough to find this presentation before it gets forced off the internet, in a few moments I'm going to show you video proof of this almost unfair technique being used on banging hot girls for free, so you can start using it too. Yet first, I have to warn you. This is a trick that women sure as hell don't want you to know, which is why a few small groups of them are trying to have my presentation banned. Like this feminist who had the nerve to say this about this controversial seduction trick. In today's progressive society, it's a step back to give men this much power. What she's really saying is no man has the right to make a woman horny on command. And personally, I think that's bullshit. Women turn us on uncontrollably just by being hot. And I've come to realize, after years and years of hopeless failures with women, that women want sex just as much as men. Many of them fantasize about being dominated. They're disappointed when men try to buy them dinner but don't know how to turn them on. And I refuse to let women like that feminist ruin the fun that my women and I are having together. So listen, I don't care who this presentation pisses off. For the next few minutes, I'm going to spit in the face of all of the women who are just fine without men feminists who've taken over the mainstream media. And I'm going to expose every so-called relationship guru and all the frauds who've been sabotaging your sex life, preventing you from getting laid, and telling you that your natural sex desires are wrong or bad. The secret I'm about to reveal was discovered by a controversial doctor in Singapore. And the reason that some people are so pissed about it is that it uses a brand new and kind of strange psychological discovery to take over a woman's animal brain. The same part of the human brain that makes her lust for sex and get uncontrollably horny. Because her animal brain is her raw, emotional, cavewoman brain. And when it's activated, her logical brain doesn't want to say no. In fact, when you tap into these deep and previously unknown sexual desires with this one easy trick, you'll sit back, relax, and watch as the girl you want chases you until the two of you are naked between two sheets, sweaty and soaked in each other's pleasure. So some we're fine without men feminists are now trying to claim that this trick is deceptive, manipulative, and has serious effects on a woman's sexual decision-making abilities. And of course, these are the same women who've been trying to keep men down for the last 20 years. But you know what I say to that? Makeup is manipulative. Fake boobs are deceptive. And when a woman shoves them in my face after I've used this technique on her, it has serious effects on my sexual decision-making abilities. So listen, if you're a perv or you're going to use this to cheat on a girl or you want to hurt women, then please don't keep watching right now. But if you're a good guy who wants to get laid in the easiest way possible, then I'm willing to share this trick with you anyways. I first learned about it after meeting my mentor, Dr. David Tan. He's a skinny little science geek who lives in Singapore. He's Asian, about 5'5", but when I saw what this man could do with women, and when I saw what women desperately wanted to do with this man, I knew I needed to learn his secret. The reason I sought David out is a little bit embarrassing. You see, The love of my life, a girl I treated like a goddamn princess and planned on marrying, basically crushed my heart and made me look like a pathetic little chump. My girl Ashley worked at Applebee's with me, and one night, after we had closed, I walked in on her getting banged, doggy style, by our boss, Randy, in the kitchen. He was bending her over a sink, and they were going at it like two horses in heat. And what hurt the most is that before she first turned around and noticed me, I could tell she was really enjoying it. She was groaning and screaming while this jerk pounded away at her like a jackhammer. When Ashley finally did turn around and saw me, she gasped, while Randy casually gave her one more thrust before turning around to see who was there. They both looked at me for a second, startled, until my boss finally yelled, "What are you doing? Get the fuck out of here, Mike." I remember mumbling, "Ashley." And all she had to say for herself was, "You heard him, just fucking leave." And then he went right back to plowing her. I was disgusted, just like I bet you are right now. And like the little wuss bag I was, I walked out of that kitchen with my head down without saying another word. Needless to say, Ashley and I were done. And as much as that moment stung like a punch in the gut, the worst part was being single. I didn't have sex for 2 years, 7 months, and 13 days after that awful night. Yes, I was counting. You see, I was doing what I thought single men were supposed to do. Every time I'd meet a girl, which didn't happen that much, I'd try to impress her, until I built up enough courage to tell her how I felt about her, and it always ended the same way. Either she'd tell me, "Let's just be friends," or she'd flat out reject me. And once, I even got called a creep and yelled at by a girl. It sucked, because I knew that if these girls gave me a chance, I'd be great. But it got to a point where, for about a year, I just gave up. I stopped trying, and spent most of my days watching movies and playing video games. And my lonely nights were mostly spent with net porn. Until one night, I don't know what got into me, but it finally struck me. I was addicted to porn, and I knew it was time. Time to start meeting some real women. Hell, time to start having some sex with real women. Maybe you can relate to what I felt that night. And on some level, you know that time to get your dating life handled. The time to get the girl you really want is now. So here's what I did. I searched every corner of the internet for someone who could teach me how to get laid without paying for it. And by the time I stumbled onto Dr. David's website, I was pretty desperate because I'd gotten scammed out of hundreds of hard-earned dollars buying shitty pickup products by so-called seduction experts. These guys would promise the world, but their products always sucked. But David's advice seemed different. And when I saw he'd been featured in dozens of media outlets, I thought maybe, just maybe, this guy's legit. So I started emailing him, and he started giving me advice here and there. And 3 weeks later, David sent me an email announcing that he was holding an exclusive closed-door seminar in Hollywood, where for the first time ever, he planned on unveiling a brand new seduction technique to 25 guys willing to shell out $5,000. The technique was called the Desire System, and David claimed it was simple but revolutionary, different from anything else out there, and worked to make a girl put the moves on you, close to 100% of the time. You'll see video footage of it in action in just a minute. So I said, screw it. Even though that's more money than I make in 4 months, I'll just put it on the Capital One Visa card. After all, he was offering a full refund if the technique wasn't everything he claims and more. When I got to Los Angeles, I was the first guy to arrive at Dr. David's bachelor pad. So I was lucky enough to get a little alone time with him. When I walked, he was sitting on a red couch, surrounded by a group of 3 women that weren't wearing all that much. One woman was serving him food, another was washing his dishes in the kitchen, and one of them was actually giving him a foot massage. As David casually greeted me, I looked at the guy in awe. I'd never seen anything like this before. So I asked him flat out what his secret was. And he didn't talk about pickup lines, he didn't talk about good looks or fashion. He talked about cold, hard neuroscience that penetrated a woman's emotions. And he taught me a trick based on a brand new psychological discovery called emotional contagion. A trick that makes almost any girl horny on command and causes her to hit on you right away. That's right, instantly. That's what emotional contagion did for me, and that's what it can do for you. Because Dr. David's research proved that your emotions, even your most powerful emotions, like horniness, desire, and love, can be made contagious, like the words of a song you just can't get off your mind. And women have known this for years. even if they don't know the science behind it. It's why a panel of young women on the internet were asked, is being horny contagious? They said things like, yes, knowing he's horny makes me horny, and people can tell when I'm horny because I'm such a good girl. Another woman said, there's never really a moment when I'm not horny. And the third said, hell yes, it turns me on and I give in. But still, when David told me all this, I didn't believe it at first. Then he yawned. And of course, I yawned back. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself yawning only to have every other person around you start to open their mouth and just to let out a big yawn? You probably have, and maybe you even felt like yawning when I showed you that picture. That's because yawning is a trigger. It triggers a predictable response in other people, sleepiness and yawning back. Well, as David discovered, out there are other triggers, even more powerful than yawning, that force women to develop intense feelings for you, to become turned on and incredibly receptive to sex, and to feel so horny around you that they make the first move on you. Now, imagine yourself in front of that girl you like, and just to show yourself this isn't BS, you let out a big yawn, and you watch within seconds she starts opening her mouth, her eyes moisten, and she yawns back. Then you do David's trick, and notice her slightly suspicious eyes turning into bedroom eyes that begin to start scanning your body up and down, and the conversation switches from a polite chat to a juicy flirtation, boiling over with sexual tension. And when she starts touching you, complimenting you, and suggesting you hang out someplace more private, it suddenly hits you. This girl wants it from you now. Well, that's exactly what David's trick does. It uses the power of emotional contagion to make her horny on command. Listen, when David revealed his entire system to me and 24 other guys that weekend, I was awestruck and practically jumping out of my seat to go try it on girls. In fact, the first night we did try it, 19 of the 25 guys had a one-night stand with the girl they met at the bars and clubs we went to. So I want you to hear from some of the other guys who were there with me. Then I'll show you his trick. Ashwin K, Edward A, Tim P, There are dozens more success stories like these. But what about my results? Well, after I learned the trick, it felt like I had superpowers with women. Actually, it felt kind of dangerous. At one point, I had lunch with my ex-girlfriend Ashley, who I definitely don't want to date again after seeing how she could break my heart with my boss. But I decided to try it on her, just to see if it'd actually work on a girl who I obviously wasn't cutting it with before. And within seconds, I could see her getting visibly horny as I was talking to her. So much so that she tried to drag me to the bathroom of the small cafe we were eating at and go at it with me right there. And even though I decided to wait until after our date to sleep with her, here's the point. Dr. David's technique makes pretty much any woman horny on command. So when you use it, you have to be careful. Seriously, don't use it around your mom. I remember the week after I got back from Los Angeles, I was hanging out at Starbucks and I saw an exotic-looking Latin girl who was 2 full inches taller than me. I'm only 5'7", and this is the kind of girl I couldn't even have made eye contact with a few weeks ago. 19 years old, long tan legs, perfect round ass, and dark red lipstick that made her face just glow. But I didn't feel scared, because Dr. David's trick is like a weapon of mass seduction. I knew exactly what I had to do. And instead of begging for her attention or approval like I would have in the past, I confidently walked up to her, said a few things about the coffee, used the trick, and then she started moving closer and closer to me. It was like it was a magnet slowly pulling her in. After about a minute, I could see her blushing and twirling her hair, which David taught me means she definitely is interested. And what totally blew me away is when she asked me what I was doing that night. And after she asked me for my number, we made some dinner plans. At dinner, I kept using Dr. David's method, and to my surprise, this Latin bombshell, whose name was Luciana, was actually complimenting me on things I used to be insecure about. Girls used to get disgusted when they looked at the dark brown mole on my left cheek, but this chick couldn't stop talking about how cute it was. My weight, my age, all that stuff that I thought was holding me back before actually turned into a positive. And 2 hours later, Luciana was in my bed screaming in pleasure as I used some advanced sexual techniques that Dr. David taught me. And I have to tell you, even though my neighbors probably didn't get much sleep that night, for me, It was the best night of my life up to that point. And she told me that I'd fulfilled a fantasy that she'd had since being a teenager. That the way I'd seduced and turned her on and pleasured her made her feel like she was in a romance novel. That she'd always wanted it, but that no man had ever done that before. Well, let me tell you, when I first heard that, I finally felt like a man again. For the first time ever, I was in control of my sex life, which is exactly how you're going to feel when you start using this. All in all, within the first 6 months of using Dr. David's method, I slept with 49 new girls. And the best part is how incredibly easy it was. I could use it on my female friends, my coworkers, waitresses, bartenders, and cashiers, and random girls I met on the street or at bars. I just used the trick, and within minutes, I'd noticed that she was getting so horny that she'd make the first move on me. So what is the trick? Well, during the closed-door seminar in Singapore last year, David revealed the trick to me and 24 other guys. That's the good news. But I do have some bad news. Dr. David only ran this seminar once, and no matter how hard guys have begged, he's not going to run it again. But here's the great news. Dr. David videotaped the conference. After a lot of pushing and prodding by me, he has reluctantly agreed to release a very small number of recordings of this seminar to the public. He calls it the Desire System, the only scientifically proven system that makes any woman horny on command and causes her to start hitting on you. It was designed by Dr. David and his team of researchers in Singapore and is guaranteed to make any innocent interaction with a girl into a steamy, sweaty sexual encounter. It takes any woman you want from not giving a damn about you, thinking she's too good for you, or totally unaware of your existence, to feverishly horny and ready to go. At which point you get to decide whether you want to get down and dirty then and there, or if you want to let the sexual tension grow like I did with Luciana. And best of all, it's easy, because you're harnessing the power of emotional contagion to turn on her horny switch and make her horny on command. This system is reverse engineered from half a decade of Dr. David studying the top 100 seducers and womanizers on Earth. And it makes every pickup line dating strategy and every other technique you've ever heard of completely obsolete. Because it's different from any product or system out there right now. And trust me, I tried other seduction systems before I met David, and they all claimed to be so simple. Just ask a girl a few questions, figure out what kind of girl she is, and then stealthily seduce her while no one's looking. These dudes always make it sound so easy. But my problem is, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I could never make any of these so-called simple systems work. I knew there was something else to it. And when I was first introduced to emotional contagion and Dr. David's Desire System, the crazy thing was that it really was that simple. Because unlike anything else out there, it operates below the radar of a woman's awareness. It focuses 100% on her emotions, which, as you've probably figured out by now, are the key to heart and her body. Because with the Desire System, her whole body is telling her to go for you, even before her mind knows what's going on. So it really is that simple. It had to be, so a guy like me could sleep with 49 women with it. And you know, even Dr. David wasn't always the ladies' man he is today. Far from it, actually. 6 years ago, he was a shy U.S. foreign exchange student who couldn't get laid to save his life. But then he stumbled upon the secrets of emotional contagion in an obscure psychology journal. Shortly after, he started turning these secrets into his explosive seduction system. David slept with over 30 jaw-dropping women in less than 2 months. The local newspapers even wrote a story on his feat. He seduced celebrities and actresses I can't name for privacy reasons. And now he's dating a perfect 10 good girl lingerie model. Plus, David operates the largest dating academy in the world, the Aura Academy. But you won't learn the Desire System there because Singapore's strict laws simply won't allow it. So he's not teaching it in person anymore to anyone. Even so, you won't find a dating coach more sought after than Dr. David. He's just that good. I'm going to start David's demonstration right now, as I tell you what you'll be learning in the Desire System and why it's going to work for you too. David will teach you the one controversial trick that will give you complete mastery over a woman's horniness. How to covertly compel a woman to make the first move on you. When you use this, she'll think sex was her idea. And because she's the one desperately trying to win you over, don't be surprised if you get hundreds of dollars worth of free dinners and drinks out of this move alone. Tommy D sent David a message about this technique saying, "Man, did this technique work good. The game is so much easier when she moves in on you first. A secret method that makes women who blew you off before want to get down on the spot. When you use this one on your ex, it will instantly reignite every good feeling she previously felt towards you, while she ignores the bad and begs you to make love to her and take her back. David's sneaky but ethical method for blasting out of the friend zone and ending up in the fuck zone. In less than 2 minutes, you can induce a full body arousal sexual state in any girl. David will show you exactly how. Balin G wrote in about this. Now this is an ace up my sleeve for getting her turned on sexually. It worked like a charm, and the technique alone has got me over 25 lays in the past 8 months. How 3 simple sentences will allow you to turn off her logical brain and turn up the heat on her sexual brain, to the point where she almost has to have you within the next minute. These 3 sentences are crucial if you ever want to help her live out the fantasy of sex in a public place like a bathroom or a park. If a girl ever challenges you or gets rude, you'll laugh, then do one thing and she'll immediately apologize and insist on making it up to you in bed. A newly discovered inception technique for planting sexual fantasies about you in a woman's mind. So when she's sitting at home, bored and by herself, the first thing that will jump into her head is how great it would be to have you over to pleasure her. How to use your eyes to triple her horniness and make her get down and dirty with you in 7 seconds or less. Adam V said this of the technique. My favorite part is the eye-to-eye attraction, because what's coming out of your mouth is irrelevant. The technique takes the pressure off, and women always want it after I use it. 3 deadly attraction sins. You must avoid these at all costs if you care to get more than a polite "it was nice to meet you" from her. A sneaky, subtle move you can use on any woman to blow past any objection she has to sleeping with you and have her be the one who's dragging you by the belt to the bedroom door. How to make even the most conservative girl have a one-night stand with you, and exactly how to make a move that will have her crying your name the entire time. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So how did that feel? Was it creepy at all? How does it feel from your perspective?
Well, that was working. I felt like we were
Cool.
in our own little bubble.
Yeah, a bubble. Like then everything kind of fades away, so it's sort of like this whole little our own world.
And I almost needed to go to the ladies.
Oh, okay. Well, we can take a break now.
So what can you realistically expect when you choose the Desire system? Well, right after you use it, the girl will appear calm, and for about 20 seconds, you'll wonder if it's working or not. Then you'll watch as her eyes begin to get wider. She'll start rubbing her thighs together, stroking her hair, and unconsciously touching herself lightly right above her breasts. From there, only one of 2 things can happen. 1, she'll make the first move on you 99% of the time. If it's nighttime, she'll gently start touching you and whispering in your ear that she'd like to move to a more private location. If it's daytime and you're not in a place where she can corner you and kiss you, she'll aggressively try to make plans to hang out the first night she's free. Or, if she's extremely shy, she may not openly hit on you, but she'll still make it stupid obvious that she's horny and wants sex from you. And in the Desire system, Dr. David shows you how easy it is to get a shy girl into bed when this happens. He shows you the brain-dead simple moves you need to make. No lines to memorize, no fancy routines. This will give you the power to get these shy girls to open up to you and live out their craziest sexual fantasies with you. And unlike all those times in the past where you felt like she had all the cards, you'll now have complete control of the relationship, because you basically hold a joystick that is wired to her body and can take things wherever you want. Which is great if you want to eventually make her your girlfriend or even your wife, and just as easy if you only want to make it a one-night stand. So right now, I bet you have a few questions about the Desire system. How much does it cost? Are my results guaranteed? And most importantly, how the hell do I get my hands on it? Well, we'll get to all that in a second. But first, I want to make it absolutely clear who the Desire system is not for. Because of the nature of this discovery, David is only releasing it to a limited number of guys. So if you're the kind of person who's going to watch David's videos but never actually use it, then please politely get the hell off my page. And because of the advanced psychological techniques in this program, we simply don't want this in the hands of guys who will use it to harm women. This system is only for guys who are serious about taking action and using it for good. Still with me? Good. Now, you already know that I paid over $5,000 to learn Dr. David's system in person, not to mention travel and hotel costs. His services are obviously not cheap. And you know what else isn't cheap? Paying for dates, dinners, drinks, and gifts for women. That stuff adds up to thousands of dollars for most guys. So, what do you think would be a fair price to finally take control back from women? Start having as much sex as you can handle, and avoid wasting time, money, and pain on girls that aren't even worth it. What is it worth to be able to make any woman horny and have the power to bang almost any woman you want in mere hours or minutes? $2,000? $1,000. Most men would consider $597 an absolutely fair price for this power, especially with the bonuses David's going to give you. But that's not what you're paying right now. You're not even paying half that. You won't even pay $147. For today only, the first 500 guys who take action will get David's entire Desire system, filmed in state-of-the-art HD video and hosted online so you can start watching it right now for the one-time low price of only $67 by clicking the orange Next Step button below this video. Break that down over the next 2 months. It comes out to $1.10 per day. That's roughly the price of a can of soda. But there's no soft drink in the world that will get you laid and give you the power to turn on any woman you want. And I have to tell you, you're pretty lucky you stumbled upon this page when you did, because David is about to slam the doors shut on the Desire system. You see, David is issuing a test release of 500 copies today to see how the world reacts to his shocking new seduction technique. The media follows David relentlessly, and he's just not willing to risk the squeaky clean reputation of his Aura Academy, the world's largest dating academy, if the feminist media rips him to shreds for the power that this gives men. Which is why once the 500th copy is sold, David is closing sales on Desire for at least another year to see how the world takes it, before he even considers letting it out of the bag again. So if you're watching this right now, congratulations. There is space left and there's exactly one spot reserved for you. Your spot will be reserved for the next 10 minutes. And if you don't act now and click the button below this video, your spot will be passed on to the next lucky guy. This video announcement is going out to hundreds of thousands of men like you. So do not hesitate on this, and you can make your purchase with confidence, because David is fully guaranteeing your satisfaction for 365 days. That's right, you can test drive this breakthrough seduction system for a full year. And if for whatever reason within that year you aren't completely satisfied, if you aren't sleeping with new girls every week, if you don't somehow have sex with that one girl you've had your eye on for months or years, even if you don't like the way David's face looks, just shoot David an email or call his toll-free phone number and you'll promptly receive a full refund. But let's be honest, that probably isn't going to happen. Dr. David's Desire system has a shocking success rate, and you won't be an exception. Now here are the bonus programs that David is including with your purchase today. First, you'll get Friends into Lovers. $67, yours free today. In this seminar, you get an easy step-by-step formula for turning your female friends into lustful lovers. And trust me, if a girl has ever told you, let's just be friends, then you want this proven formula. Next, you'll get the Complete Confidence Hypnosis. $97, yours free today. After listening to this short, relaxing audio MP3 about 5 times, in your sleep or at your convenience, your confidence will immediately rival the world's top seducers. Because this revolutionary new audio program uses the power of suggestion to completely rewire your brain and obliterate any limiting beliefs or insecurities that have been holding you back with women. The audio does all the work for you. No drills, exercises, or affirmations. Just complete and utter confidence with women. Ryan Yu had this to say about Complete Confidence Hypnosis. You're also getting access to the Endless Conversation course. $97, yours free today. This is the easy system that guarantees you'll never run out of things to say. So women will be hanging on your every sentence, and you'll have loads of ammo to keep any conversation going for as long as you want. Also, for signing up today, you're eligible for a 14-day trial of David's Way of the Rake coaching course. $67, yours free today. In this, you'll learn the same advanced techniques that David's full-time students learn at the Aura Academy when they sign on for monthly coaching. And all of this is free when you click the button below this video. I thought Dr. David was nuts to give these bonuses away, yet he insisted on including them with your purchase today, which means you now get 4 amazing life-changing bonuses with your purchase, a value of over $300, completely free of charge. It's David's way of saying thank you to the 500 men who are joining him today. Just click the button below this video, claim your risk-free e-voucher on the next page, and lock in your spot. The time is now. You're about to get access to the only seduction system that allows you to make a woman horny on command, so she pursues you like a heat-seeking missile locked onto its target. Look, you already know that this video won't be up for long, so if you want this controversial new system, then you must act now. Click the button below the video. Start using the system tonight, and wake up tomorrow next to a truly breathtaking babe. Her smile for you is bright as the sun, turned on and ready to go again. Here's what's going to happen when you click the button below. You'll immediately be taken to David's risk-free e-voucher, which will reserve you one of the 500 spots for 5 minutes until it expires. Then you'll fill out the simple form, enter your payment information, and click the Complete My Order button to start your 365-day risk-free trial of the Desire system. And you can feel completely confident that your private data is secure and safe with Dr. David, because he's encrypted the checkout page with the latest 256-bit encryption software, which guarantees your purchase is safe, private, and secure, and means nobody will know about your purchase except you and David. So lock in your spot now. Enter your email address and click the button below. Fill out the easy and secure form and get instant access. And what if you have any questions along the way? With your purchase, you get access to David's private discussion forum, where you'll get support and assistance from other men just like you, who are experts at the Desire system, so they can help you every step along the way. Plus, you'll have access to David's private team of coaches, including Dr. David Tan himself. So if you've got questions, he's got answers. And it all starts right now, when you click below and complete your purchase. So right now, you have a simple choice. Option 1, the risky choice, where you do nothing. Let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass you by, and give up your spot to the next guy in line, and let him have the girls you want. You'll risk never getting laid by the kind of girls that you get horny for. You'll risk having a poor and miserable sex life for years to come, and risk dying sexless, sad, and alone. Or you can take option 2, the right choice. Risk nothing. Click the button below this video and get Desire for just $67 right now. And dive into the only scientifically proven system that makes any woman horny on command. Which means your girl, the one you've been wanting for so long, is about to end up in your bed. And you risk nothing because your results are guaranteed for a full 365 days. So if you use the system and for some reason aren't getting laid like a rock star, or if you don't finally have sex with that one girl you've been wanting for ages, David will promptly refund your entire purchase. So listen closely. This is not a time for hesitation. It's a time for action. So go ahead, click that button, and get what every guy wants deep down. Complete control over any woman's horniness. Look, if you haven't claimed your spot yet, you're probably on the fence about your decision, and that's completely fine. But I've got a very important question that I want you to ask yourself right now. What's it worth to you to instantly make yourself into a well-oiled sex machine? What's it worth to you to quickly vault yourself into the top 1% of ladies' men on Earth within days? Even if you're overweight, ugly, or old, what's it worth to never have to wonder things like, am I going to have to rely on porn forever to get off? Will the girl I want ever like me back? Should I get a mail-order bride? Because you have the ultimate control over any woman's horniness. You know the easy, effortless way to make any girl leap into your bed like a woman possessed. What's that worth? $3,000? I've already told you that some men have paid much more than that to learn the system. Maybe $1,000? $500? I promise you, every man who is on the inside, the men who know this system, would tell you the system is worth at least 10 times that amount. But you're not even going to pay half of that. Not even 20% of that. For today only, you're getting the entire system and 4 bonuses jam-packed with everything you could possibly need to sleep with pretty much any girl for only $67 risk-free. Even if you think you're a lost cause with women, trust me, you're not. And if you're like most guys, you'll soon be saying that today's small investment was the best investment you've ever made. Because the Desire System will change your life. And remember, the risk is all on David's side of the court. He's offering an ironclad guarantee. You've got a full year to test drive his wickedly effective seduction system and return it for a full refund if it doesn't work for you. Your privacy is guaranteed. Your billing is discreet and confidential. You won't get any embarrassing packages at your door because it's all online. So, I've got to run, and it looks like your reserved spot is about to expire. But I'll leave you with this. The 3 most important reasons why you need to act right now, and click the button below. 1. There's only 500 spots available. It's first come, first serve. 2. Your satisfaction is guaranteed 100%. 3. There are literally millions of young girls waiting for a man like you to sweep her off her feet and send her into blissful sexual submission like she reads about in the romance novels. And it all starts now. The instant you click the button below and complete your order. So let's do this. Now is the time to act and start having the sex life you always wanted.